Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 NFL Draft has already given us one of the most unexpected and electrifying twists we could have imagined, and it involves none other than the Dallas Cowboys. In a move that has absolutely stunned the entire football world, the Cowboys have made an incredibly bold and strategic decision to add Stefon Diggs, one of the league's top wide receivers, to their roster. But here's the real shocker: Stefon Diggs won't be taking over the top spot as the number one wide receiver for the Cowboys. No, instead, he's coming in as their WR2, just behind CeeDee Lamb, the team's current star and undisputed WR1. Now, at first glance, this might sound like an odd decision, right? Stefon Diggs is a proven WR1 in the NFL, and many might think that any team would consider him the top dog at wide receiver. But Dallas has a clear vision, and by bringing in Diggs as WR2, they are not only strengthening their already potent offense but also sending a message to the entire NFL that they are ready to make a serious Super Bowl run. This is one of the most thrilling and unpredictable moves we've seen in recent years, and it's going to have massive implications for both the Cowboys and the league as a whole. Stefon Diggs has been one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the NFL for the last several years. He's consistently among the league leaders in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. His 2024 season with the Buffalo Bills was no exception. He finished with over 1,500 receiving yards, 105 receptions, and 12 touchdowns, putting him firmly in the conversation as one of the league's top receiving threats. And let's not forget the way he dominated in big games, making clutch catches when it mattered most. When you think of elite wide receivers, Diggs' name is always at the top of the list. So, to see the Cowboys bring him in, especially as WR2 behind CeeDee Lamb, is a move that has left people scratching their heads and questioning what's really going on behind the scenes in Dallas. But the more you look at this decision, the more it starts to make sense. CeeDee Lamb has emerged as one of the most dominant receivers in the NFL. He's already established himself as Dak Prescott's go-to target and is only going to get better as time goes on. But with the addition of Diggs, the Cowboys' passing game is going to reach a level we've never seen before. At first, people might think the Cowboys are wasting Diggs' potential by slotting him as WR2. But when you look at the offense, it becomes clear that this move is more about creating an unstoppable receiving duo than anything else. CeeDee Lamb will still be the primary focus of opposing defenses, which means Diggs is going to get plenty of opportunities to shine in a secondary role. And that's when things get dangerous. Stefon Diggs is a nightmare for defensive coordinators to game plan for. His ability to run precise routes, break away from defenders, and make incredible catches in crucial moments makes him a weapon that is impossible to ignore. When paired with a wide receiver of Lamb's caliber, the Cowboys now have a tandem that few teams can compete with. Imagine trying to cover Lamb and Diggs at the same time. It's a defensive coordinator's worst nightmare. If you double-team Lamb, you leave Diggs wide open to make plays down the field. But if you focus too much on Diggs, CeeDee Lamb is more than capable of burning defenses in the same way. This type of two-headed monster at wide receiver is something the Cowboys haven't had in a long time, and it could be the key to unlocking their offensive potential in 2025 and beyond. Of course, none of this would work without Dak Prescott at the helm. As the quarterback of the Cowboys, Prescott is the focal point of everything that happens on offense. He's the one who needs to make the right decisions, put the ball in the right spot, and elevate the play of his teammates. Prescott is coming off a solid season, but with the addition of Stefon Diggs, things are about to get a whole lot easier for him. With two elite wide receivers in Lamb and Diggs, Doc is going to have more weapons than he's ever had before. And let's not forget about Tony Pollard in the backfield, who has become one of the most versatile running backs in the NFL. Pollard is a threat as both a runner and a receiver, and his ability to make plays out of the backfield gives Doc even more options in the passing game. The Cowboys are assembling a roster that has the potential to be one of the most dangerous offenses in the league. But the impact of this move extends far beyond just the Cowboys themselves. The addition of Stefon Diggs as WR2 is a statement to the entire NFL. The Cowboys are sending a clear message that they are all in on competing for a Super Bowl in 2025. We've seen teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, and the Miami Dolphins build their offenses around dynamic passing attacks with multiple elite weapons. The Cowboys are now entering that conversation, and they're doing it in a way that could be even more potent than anything we've seen before. In today's NFL, having multiple top-tier wide receivers is becoming more and more of a necessity. If you look at some of the most successful teams in recent years, they've all had elite receiving core. The Chiefs have Travis Kelce and a deep group of receivers, the Bills have Diggs and Gabriel Davis, and the Dolphins have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Now, the Cowboys have Lamb and Diggs, and that's a combination that should keep defensive coordinators up at night. One of the most intriguing aspects of this move is how it changes the Cowboys' offensive philosophy. Over the past few years, we've seen Dallas emphasize the running game with Ezekiel Elliott, but now that Tony Pollard is the primary back, the Cowboys are able to focus more on their passing attack. And with two top-tier wide receivers, this offense could become one of the most explosive in the entire league. Defenses are going to be forced to pick their poison. Do they try to shut down Lamb and focus on him as the top target, or do they take their chances with Diggs, knowing that he's capable of taking over a game with one big play? The beauty of this setup is that the Cowboys don't have to choose. Both Lamb and Diggs are capable of taking over games on their own, and with Dak Prescott's ability to distribute the ball, they'll both get plenty of chances to shine. Now, let's talk about what this means for the rest of the NFL. The addition of Stefon Diggs to the Cowboys roster changes the entire landscape of the NFC. We've seen the Cowboys get close to the Super Bowl in recent years but fall short in the playoffs. This year, however, feels different. With the addition of Diggs, the Cowboys now have the firepower on offense to go toe-to-toe with the best teams in the league. The NFC is still wide open, and with a healthy Dak Prescott, a strong defense, and an explosive offense, the Cowboys could very well be the team to beat. They've already got one of the top defenses in the NFL, with stars like Micah Parsons leading the way, and now their offense is shaping up to be one of the best in the league as well. But what about the rest of the NFC? The Eagles are still a top contender, as are the 49ers, but no one has a dynamic wide receiver duo quite like the Cowboys now do. If Dallas can stay healthy and keep their offense firing on all cylinders, they could become the team to beat in the NFC, and possibly in the entire NFL. Of course, the big question now is whether Dak Prescott can finally take that next step and lead the Cowboys to a Super Bowl. We've seen flashes of greatness from Dak in the past, but with this much talent around him, 2025 could be the year he finally breaks through. At the end of the day, Stefon Diggs joining the Cowboys as WR2 is more than just a transaction, it's a statement. The Cowboys are gearing up for a serious Super Bowl run, and this move could very well be the piece that propels them to greatness. The league is on notice, and Dallas is ready to make their move. What does the future hold for the Cowboys and the rest of the NFL? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure: the 2025 season is going to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and the Cowboys are ready to make some noise. So, buckle up, Cowboys Nation, because this is going to be one wild ride.